World News from BGI TV, Baba Bagide Imo Television. I am yours faithfully, Mowiri Regular Lowell. First are the major headlines for the World News. Why we want Jonathan back in Aso Rock, Fulani Group. Monarch decries treatment of Yoruba in Gombe. My missing husband was killed in police cell. Kanu man to die by hanging for killing a young person. I'll dismiss military officer killed 37-year-old man in Jigawa. 35-year-old man arrested in a Akwa Ibom for allegedly sleeping with his biological daughter. Police arrest robbers for snatching motorcycle, injuring owner in Lagos. We were treated like pariahs, enemies. Bamishes Council slams Lagos DPP. BRT driver made love to me from behind, a witness. And to foreign story, UN to hold another meeting with Ukraine. And sport, one young goalkeeper that should be given the chance to play for the Super Eagles. The news in detail. Hours after former President Goodluck Jonathan publicly rejected the All Progressive Congress presidential expression of his interest and nomination forms, Secretary of the Fulani Group, Usman Mohammed, has vowed that Jonathan won't leave the country without accepting it. The group, which is an extraction of the nomadic Fulani and the Al-Majri communities, stormed the International Conference Center in Abuja on Monday evening to procure the forms. The news of Jonathan purchasing APC presidential forms on Monday got Nigerians pondering if he was truly considering a return to Aso Rock on the platform of the ruling party. Reacting swiftly to the report, the ex-Bayelsa deputy governor de-associated himself from the purported APC presidential form, which he described as an insult. He disclosed this in a statement issued on Monday night by his spokesman, Ikechukwu Eze, that he didn't authorize the purchase. We wish to categorically state that Dr. Jonathan was not aware of this bid and did not authorize it. Yoruba community in Gombe State has lamented the way the government of Muhammad Yahya has been treating them since he assumed office. Leader of the Yoruba in Gombe, Oba Abdurrahim Yusuf, told newsmen yesterday that the Yoruba were well treated and regarded in Kano and other northern states, but disregarded in Gombe, despite their commitment and contribution to the state. Attending the newsmen in his Oji Estate Palace in Gombe, the monarch said, even if Yoruba man is good enough to make the commissioners list, who ought to be considered for the special advisor assistant position. Aside the positions, he also declared a formula used to share the recently procured 1,000 tricycle as no Yoruba benefited. He, however, disclosed that his office had made several representations to the Secretary to the State Government, SSG, on the neglect of Yoruba in the state. Meanwhile, the monarch commended the governor for his developmental projects in the state, urging him to strive further in delivering his campaign promises to Gombawa. The 28-year-old mother of one, Ebere Okonkwo, who raised the alarm over the disappearance of her husband, Chidubem Okonkwo, from the custody of the police in Anambra State last week, has disclosed that he was allegedly killed inside the cell of the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department, OCA. She told Vanguard that her late husband, who was a member of the Tricycle Owners Association of Nigeria, Tohan, OCA region, Anambra State, was arrested at Unizig Junction Park on March 15, 2022, over an undisclosed offense. Thereafter, she said he was paraded by the Commissioner of Police, Anambra State Police Command, CP Echen, at the command headquarters, Oka, without any explanation of his offense by the command. Apprehension, according to her, set in as she and her in-laws were deprived of reaching her 48-year-old husband after the parade until they were informed recently that he was allegedly killed in the cell. Lamenting, she said, we were told he was tortured to death in the cell. Who paid the police to kill him? What offense could he have committed that warranted his being killed extrajudicially without trial? Why didn't they charge him to court? She asked rhetorically. Recalling our last moment with him, the distraught widow said Dubem left the house on March 15, 2022, bidding my daughter and I goodbye. Unknown to me, he was bidding us final farewell. Still similar case from Kano State. A Kano State High Court, presided by Justice Usman Nababa, has sentenced a 19-year-old man, Ibrahim Khalid, to death by hanging for killing his nephew Ahmed Ado by sellotaping his nose and mouth. Khalil, whose address was not provided by the court, was convicted on 2 counts of kidnapping and culpable homicide. In his judgment, Justice Nababa held that the prosecution had proven their case beyond reasonable doubt and consequently sentenced the convict to 14 years imprisonment for kidnapping. Nababa also sentenced the convict to death by hanging for homicide. Earlier, the prosecution counsel, Mr. Lamido Sorondiki, had informed the court that the convict committed the offense sometimes in 2019 at Karkasara Quarters in Kano Metropolis. Sorondiki said that the defendant kidnapped his sister's son, Ado, and in process used a sellotape to cover his nose, mouth, and bury him in a shallow grave at Sabuwar Sheka in Kano. The prosecution presented 3 witnesses to the court and 4 exhibits to prove their case against the defendants. Still on Northern Stories, a 37-year-old man identified as Suleiman Ibrahim has allegedly met his death at the hands of a dismissed military officer in Brendan Kudu, local government area of Jigawa State. Saidu Al-Hassan, a close associate of the deceased, confirmed the incident to Daily Post. He said his brother's body was discovered by an unknown person on the outskirts of Brendan Kudu with a deep knife cut. Police Public Relations Officer ASP Lawani Shisu Adam also confirmed the incident to newsmen. He said the incident happened on Saturday at about 7:30 hours in Brendan Kudu town. Shisu explained that police discovered a body of a 37-year-old man identified as Suleiman Ibrahim dead and dumped by the roadside in Brendan Kudu. He said the body was taken to the Federal Medical Center, Brendan Kudu, and was certified dead by the medical doctor as a result of a deep knife cut. Shisu said one person identified as Abba Ado Ahmed, who is a dismissed military officer, was arrested. He said the case is under investigation and will be charged to court for prosecution and justice must be done. Similar case from the South. A 35-year-old man identified as Udeme Peters and Neofio has been arrested for allegedly making love to his biological daughter multiple times. According to Facebook user Emmanuel Ahmed Paragon Umbong, the man confessed to have been sleeping with his daughter who lives with him in Eket, Akwa Ibom State. According to the daughter, who is currently a JSS2 student of the Premier Post-Primary Institution in Eket, the father always threatened her with a machete anytime he wants to make love to her, and she has done that several times. Investigation reveals that the 15-year-old victim was born out of wedlock and she only lives with her father in a room apartment in Ikot Inyan village. Okon Eket, the mother stays in Port Harcourt. Another robbery case. The Lagos State Police Rapid Response Squad RRS have arrested 2 robbers and recovered a motorcycle. The suspects are Taiwo 25 and Jude Prince over 21. Their accomplice Chibuke Daniel is at large. A statement on Tuesday by police spokesman Benjamin Udain said they were nabbed Sunday night. Overt and Daniel had stopped a rider and asked him to take them from Obalende to Parkview Estate Ikoyi, where Taiwo was waiting. On arrival, Daniel hit the victim on the head with a wheel spanner and disposed him of his motorcycle. Passers-by raised the alarm, which drew the attention of RRS officers on a routine patrol of the area. The suspect confessed to have stolen several motorcycles in a similar manner and disclosed they sold each for 150,000 naira. Commissioner of Police Abiodun Alabi has directed RRS Commander Olayinka Egbeyemi to transfer them to the CP Special Squad for further investigation. The statement added that operatives are on the trail of the fleeing gang member, Daniel. So another tragic one, the family and counsel to Bamishe Anyolola, the young girl allegedly killed by a BRT driver, have complained that they are being treated like pariahs and enemies to be avoided by the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, Lagos State, during a pre-trial meeting on Friday. The family of the 22-year-old girl allegedly made love with another while transiting on a BRT bus in Lagos has written to the Lagos State government requesting a fair prosecution of the case. The meeting was scheduled for patrol ahead of the next adjourned dates on 9th and 10th and 11th May 2022. In a press statement released and signed by the counsel to Bamishe's family, Additional Ogunlano, the family accused the Lagos State DPP of exclusion over the handling of the case. According to him, the counsel to the family of late Bamishi was invited by the Lagos State Department of Public Prosecutions but was kept waiting at the reception for more than an hour, despite arriving earlier for the 3 p.m. appointment. The statement added that later found out that officers of Lagos Bus Service Limited and officers of the Lagos Police Command were having sessions with the Directorate of the Department of Public Prosecutions to our exclusion. The council, however, demanded that there is a suppression of material facts, including the statement given to the police by the duo of Pelumi Abegunde and Titilayo Damilola and Yonwola at Akipembu and Ibutemeta Aero Police Station. That certain employees of the Lagos Bus Service Limited who are accessories after the fact of crime of murder, which have neither been arrested, investigated, or lined up for prosecution. Still on the world news from BGI TV, more to come. On foreign story, the UN Security Council is expected to hold a new public meeting on Thursday on Russia's war in Ukraine in light of the continuing deterioration of the humanitarian situation, diplomats said Monday. The session, requested by France and Mexico, will be the 16th held by the Security Council since the Russian invasion of February 24 as part of an effort by Western states to maintain pressure on Russia, which is, as a permanent member of the Council, has the power to block measures it approves of. France and Mexico have requested briefings from the UN Department of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, a diplomat said. The meeting comes after the bombing at the weekend of a school in eastern Ukraine, in which 60 civilians were killed, according to Kiev. It will be held on the same day as an extraordinary session in Geneva of the UN Human Rights Council, requested by Ukraine, on the deterioration of human rights situation in Ukraine. The first demonstration of unity since the invasion began won the support of Moscow, which had head-to-toe blocked the initiative by the Security Council. Finally, on the world news is a sports story. The Nigerian national team is regarded as one of the most respected teams in the African continent. However, it should be said that the Super Eagles of Nigeria have struggled to impress over the past few years. Tunisia eliminated Nigeria during the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations earlier this year. It should also be said that Ghana qualified for the 2022 FIFA World Cup ahead of Nigeria due to goalkeeper position. Many football pundits believe that Nigeria has a problem in the goalkeeping department. This is because of the fact that the likes of Maduka Okoye, Francis Uzoho have made some mistakes over in the past few months. Let us carefully identify one young goalkeeper who should be given the opportunity to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, if need be, by changing allegiance to represent Nigeria. Joshua Oluwayemi is said to be one of the brightest young goalkeepers in European football. Joshua Oluwayemi currently plays for Tottenham Hotspur in England at youth level. He is eligible to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The Nigeria Football Federation should invite him to the Super Eagles for representation at the senior level. That was the world news from BGI TV, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines once again. Why we want Jonathan back in Aso Rock, Fulani Group says. Monarch decries the treatment of Yoruba in Gombe. We also brought to you how this Mies military officer killed 37-year-old man in Jigawa. And to foreign story, UN to hold another meeting in Ukraine. And finally, sports. One young goalkeeper that should be given the chance to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. In case you miss any of the news for the world news this hour, you can link up on our YouTube channel with the handle as Babagide Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast and updates. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page to ensure you have access to the broadcast. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For other placements of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, the phone number streaming on your screen is a direct line to call strictly for advert placement. Thank you for watching. I am Mowigwe Rebila Lawal. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million. Oh, na na na. want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI.